I've been choked up in the studio trying to sing this song. Even on stage, my backup singer has had to finish a line or two for me in the past. Hey guys, I'm Elvie Shane, and this is the hit story of my song, My Boy.
He's my boy.
Honestly, I feel like I owe my wife and my son my life to a certain degree. I was living kind of a crappy life at the time. I needed some kind of purpose, and I was just really lost. Didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. When I met my wife and she told me she had a 5-year-old son, I knew that there was one thing I'd always wanted to be, and that was a father. You know, that responsibility, or the potential for that responsibility, was very exciting to me. And so, packed up and we moved back to her hometown, and we got married. And I had just started coming down to Nashville to co-write. I don't know what the quotations are for, but I didn't really know what co-writing was until I started going to Nashville. 6 or 8 months after starting to come to town, me and 3 other friends sit out on the porch one night and set out to write about something that matters. It was me, Russell Sutton, Nick Columbia, and Lee Starr. As I said, we were all the writers on this song. 3 out of the 4 of us were able to relate in some way, form, or fashion. I was a stepfather. One of them was a stepkid. The writing session even had 4 grown men sitting out on the porch drinking, crying, and hugging each other. So My Boy was born. I recorded this song quite a few times with different people to finally get to this one recording. But I know the moment that I realized this was it. We were in the studio. I called my buddy Lee Starr, who's a co-writer on My Boy and a great guitar player as well. I said, man, can you just come to the studio? This song has always captured people acoustically. And I just really believe that if we can start off with a more acoustic-driven approach, that we can capture people like we've been able to. And we had a bunch of other stuff still built around that acoustic, and we dropped it down and we let the drums and the Juno kind of come in slowly and build up to that second verse. And when that second verse hit, that was the moment, like, we all just looked at each other and was like, yeah, believe that'll work.
It hit me like a train the first time it called me dad.
The one line that I love the most is we're going back and forth with crayon pictures and stick figures, and how the little boy first let the dad know that he looked at him as a father. And Lee Starr, sitting there playing guitar, just sit back and said, boys, why don't we just say a 3-stick figure crayon picture with all of us holding hands? And we were like, why don't we just say that? That's probably my favorite line of the song.
In a 3-stick figure crayon picture with all of us holding hands.
I worked with Peter Zavadil on this video, and man, what a dream to work with that dude. He seen the vision from the drop, and I told him that it could have very easily been my wife and I and our boy in this video, and it could have been very personal to us. But I look at this song as bigger than just my story. It represents so many other stories out there. This girl who's got a blue collar job working at a cafe in a small town. This guy who's got a blue collar job driving a truck. But man, this little boy that played My Boy in this video, hardest worker in the room. 100%, just killed it. He was still willing to go when some of us were wanting to stop. So kudos to Lil Man. The official release date to radio was September 21st, and we had been doing a virtual radio tour in a studio in Nashville for about 6.5 weeks leading up to that, where we did 5 shows a day, 5 days a week. We just so happened to have scheduled a social media show, and it just so happened to turn out to be National Step Family Day. The day after, or maybe even that afternoon, I get a text from the girl over at my social media team, and she's like, hey, check out this TikTok. And it had like 4 million views on it. For it to have done what it did on TikTok the week leading up to the impact date for radio, just solidified to me that, there's something bigger at work here, maybe some divine intervention. We knew early on that if this song had the success we hoped it would have, that people would want a girl version. And back in February, I talked to the boys and kind of came up with a girl version. And lo and behold, this thing came out and my inbox was filled daily. And still to this day, it's cool now when people send it to me. wanting a girl version because I can just go over to YouTube and like copy the link and send it to them. Just send them a wink, you know. I had a lot of fun recording that and love that version too. It's been pretty cool to see how the song has grown and see the different versions and where it's got to and how my son has related to it. And like there's been times where he's reached out and been like, hey man, can you send me a copy of my song so I can let my friends hear it before it was released? And not supposed to do that, but he is the reason the song's there, so he got the song when he asked for it. There's a lot of people out there in this situation. I think my radio team was saying during our radio tour that they did the research, and it says that 33% of all Americans are in some kind of step relationship, so it's a pretty profound number. I've traveled all over the United States playing it for people. I've got a publishing deal, got a record deal. It's done some really incredible things for me that I don't feel all that deserving of sometimes, but I feel very blessed to have.